Welcome back to 5-Star Life. Coach Seth here to challenge you and coach you into living your 5-star life. I am one of the luckiest human beings on the planet. I get to work with so many different types of people. I get to work with students like you and professional athletes like LaFonso Ellis, who is on ESPN College Game Day. I get to work with business leaders and teachers and principals. And I get to work with students who are actually locked up in detention centers. And just last week I was speaking with a couple kids who were locked up, and I always start by just asking the question like, what got you into this situation? And both of these boys said the same thing. I got caught up with a gun. Now, these guys were incredibly sharp, good people. And I know some people are thinking, well, they can't be great people and they can't be that smart if they got caught with a gun. Well, let me ask you a question. Why is it that you think they got caught up messing with guns? One word: respect. Now, I'm reading a book right now by this guy who's a doctor, and he's researched for years and years, and he says that at our very core, the number one thing we crave, desire, and even need is respect. Those guys were locked up. Why? Because they wanted respect. See, we all go about finding and getting respect in different ways. And obviously they chose a bad method. But today I want to teach you, I want to give you the golden key to gaining the respect of people everywhere you go. Now, before we dive in, I just want to say this. There are certain people out there that no matter what you do, how you act, they will not respect you simply because they're disrespectful people. Like, they have their own issues, they have their own demons, they're struggling, they've got to figure that out. But I want to talk to you about the other 95% of the people out there that if you know this golden key to respect, they will actually give it back to you. The golden key is integrity, which we define as who you are when nobody's looking, the real you. See, your ability to consistently be a person who's respectable is the key to gaining the respect of your peers, of your teachers, of all the adults in your life. Now, growing up, we hear this all the time. We hear, don't judge other people. Now, what does every one of us do when we meet someone? We judge them. Now, if we prejudge somebody that we don't know based on their skin color, their size, their shape, their ethnicity, their religion, whatever, that's being prejudiced. We all know that's wrong. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the ability to look at a person to see what type of person they are. Do they lie? Do they tell the truth? Do they keep their word? Do they break their promises? What type of person are they? Now think about this for a second. If there's a rotten apple on the table and I pick it up and grab that mushy thing and take a bite of it and start eating it, it's going to make me sick, I'm going to vomit it, and I would be a fool. But what do? We look at the apple and say, oh, that one's rotten. I think I'll take one that has better qualities, one that looks healthy. In the same way, we judge other people. We're looking for the right qualities. It's not like we get out a clipboard every time we interact with someone and start writing down the good things and bad things about them, but mentally we're just paying attention to what type of person they are. See, every time you interact with a person, you're checking out who they are. Are they a person of integrity? And they're doing the same thing to you. It's a part of life. I want you to think about this a little bit differently. See, the reality is that you are your own brand. So there are lots of brands out there. Coca-Cola, Gatorade, Yeezy, they're all brand names you're familiar with. You can expect a certain result from their products. You know what to expect. So, for example, if I picked up a can of Coke, started drinking it, and it tasted like dog urine, what would I do? I would spit it out, I'd dump it out, it'd be gross. But because Coca-Cola has a respectable brand, I would give them another shot. I wouldn't think they're a bad brand. I'd think, okay, I'm going to try another can. If I opened that up and drank that and experienced the same result, I would throw all the cans I had away, and I would rethink do I really want to drink that brand? They've got some issues. This sounds really harsh, but this is exactly what we do and other people do to us on a regular basis. So how is it that you gain the respect of other people? It's through integrity, and there's a couple things you've got to start doing and a couple things you've got to stop doing to actually build your brand so that it's one that has integrity that will attract people. Now, the first thing you've got to stop doing is lying. Think about what happens when someone lies to you. How do you feel? Totally disrespected. And then you start to wonder, what else have they lied to me about? See, you've just branded yourself as what? As a liar, a person that doesn't tell the truth. The second thing you've got to stop doing is you've got to stop breaking your commitments. If you tell your coach you'll be at practice, you tell your teacher you're going to turn in the assignment, you tell your mom you're going to do the dishes, then you better show up to practice, you better do those dishes, and you better turn that assignment in. If you don't, guess what's going to happen? They're going to experience your brand. They're going to have a bad taste in their mouth, and you will have branded yourself. Our theme this whole year is freedom, the right or the power to act, to speak, and to think as one wants without hindrance and without restraint. And nothing hinders and restrains us more than when we lie and then we have to live with the weight and the guilt of lying and trying to cover up the lie, or when we break promises and we know that we're not living up to our word. We live under the weight of that. See, as human beings, we're so simple. We respond to people who have integrity. If people simply tell me the truth, if they're just honest, and then they keep their word, I will love them. I'll be friends with them forever. We're simple beings. When you live with integrity, people will brand you as trustworthy and honest. And in my life, I've watched this happen. I'm not perfect, but I've tried to live with this golden key of integrity, and I've watched as people respect me. And the more I show this integrity, the more people that respect me. And actually, people go out of their way to actually help me move forward in my life. The same can happen for you, but you've got to tell the truth, even when it's difficult. Next time you're tempted to lie, just remember, this is going to be a respect breaker for me. This is going to be a respect builder for me with the integrity. And then the second thing, you've got to start keeping your promises. And some of you have great intentions of keeping your word, but you're disorganized. Here's a tip. Every day, write down the top 2 or 3 commitments that you have. Put them somewhere you remember them. And you'll simply keep your word on a more consistent basis. And you will build a brand that will set you free to live your 5-star life. Good luck.